Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton. I am president and CEO of Archimedes Offspring, and it is great to see all of you this afternoon, and I can see every single one of you sitting there. So the question for today is, when you were a little kid, did everybody ever say, did you ever want to join the circus? Did you ever think back and think, I'd love to ride an elephant. Oh, wow, that would be so much fun to dress up in those costumes or swing across the big tent. Me neither. But honestly, there are times when I am sure that your family looks at you when you tell them you want to take a product to market, and they think you're probably just going out to join the circus. And in some ways you are. So, we always kind of laugh about the crazy world of inventing, the crazy world of being part of a circus. In some ways, it can be very much like that. First of all, you don't necessarily know what you're getting into. You don't realize how much it's going to cost you. You don't know where you're going to end up. Kind of like being in the circus. You don't know what act you're going to be doing. You don't know where you're going to end up. And heavens to Betsy, you don't know where you're going to be. So let's try to clarify that a little bit. When you join Archimedes Offspring, we help lay it out for you sooner rather than later. We guide you through the financial steps. We guide you through the steps so that you know what you're going to be doing. So if your act is, taking a new tool to market, we are going to map out for you what to expect. We're going to already look at industry experts. We are going to help you assess money issues. If you are chosen through the vetting process of Archimedes Offspring, that problem is solved. We already know where the money is coming from. And, we're going to help assess service providers. We're going to help you understand, do you need this service provider, or is this one over here a better choice? And then we're going to pay them directly so that you don't have to. And I know that a lot of times when inventors say, oh, my family thinks I'm crazy for doing this, it may not be nearly as much that they think that you're crazy, but they're worried about you. Kind of like if you ran away and joined the circus, they're going to worry about you. And a lot of it is, the time and energy, but also the money. I get it. I understand. I've spoken to a lot of inventors who say, can my spouse come along because I really need them to hear you say this? And it's like, I am not a marriage counselor. Not my job. However, certainly don't mind laying out the facts for a spouse or a parent or an adult child. I've had a lot of that. And so all we can do is kind of lay out the roadmap so that you know where you're going, what the steps are going to be, what you have to do. So in the beginning, when you're considering running off and joining the circus or trying to take a product to market, the first thing we want is a really good assessment of that product that you're thinking about. I had people over the weekend sending in their searches to get a comprehensive search done, simply so they can provide it to Archimedes Offspring for the vetting process. And I know we had questions last week. It's like, well, I've already filed my patent. Can I still apply? Absolutely. All right. Sometimes they say, well, I'm all teed up and ready to go. I just need help manufacturing. Apply to Archimedes Offspring. We can help you with that first round of heavy funding. And so then that's really the first phase, is getting the search done and a patentability opinion. We've got a guy out of Boston that is, sorry about that, guy out of Boston who's just teed up now and has his search done, getting his patentability opinion done. So those are the first couple of steps. That is all you need to complete with then the vetting form, so that we're able to go ahead and take a look at, have one of our registered patent attorneys take a look at it and say, yeah, we can see with the search, the comprehensive search that was done, and what was provided on the vetting form, now the ability to file for a good provisional patent application. So we do it in steps as well. And it's just a matter then of being able to advise you on what those steps are going to look like and what the costs are going to be. We are not going to have, unexpected costs by any means, because we know the process. I've been doing this for over 15 years, helping inventors get through the steps. protecting the investors on the investor side of AOS is equally as important. So we want to make sure that we do the steps right, that we've, teed this up with industry experts. So when we're looking at those first steps, that's what's going on. When we say we're in the second round of vetting, that is when we're really doing now some market research. We're talking to industry experts. We're looking at, potential licensees before we've spent any money. And I think it's real important for you as the inventor to understand, just like the circus actually does have a plan and bookings, ready to go. They know the town they're going to, even if you don't. Archimedes Offspring we know where we're going. All right. So when you're chosen then to participate, right, we've already mapped out a plan for you. And we're going to share that with you. We're not going to keep you in the dark. You are still controlling the process. You can still say, I want to use this service provider and not this one. I like this person. I know him. He's in my hometown. That's fine. We really don't care as long as they're qualified and that they charge reasonable rates. Again, we are frugal with the investors' money. We are frugal with your money. Heavens to Betsy, we're frugal with our own money. So we're not going to be wasting our resources. And that's one of the things I see a lot of inventors do. They get excited because now all of a sudden they're going to go down this road to get a product to market or join the circus, depending on their family's point of view. But they get excited and they start throwing money at it. You need to learn to treat every dime like it's your last. And on Archimedes Offspring, that's what we're really, really good at. We're treating every dime like it's your last. It's our dime, actually, and we want to treat it like it's the last dime available. And what I see happen is that, they'll get a really expensive video done. They'll spend $10,000 on a video instead of $2,500 on a video. We are always anticipating that there's going to be more expenses down the road. And you need to do that as well. Even if you're just listening to this to get information about the inventing process, and you don't plan on joining AOS, you still need to understand that $5,000 that you don't spend on a video this week is money that you're going to have access to next month. When the design engineer tells you, oh, no, it's going to be this much because you've come back now and asked for changes. Nobody covers changes that you ask for without sending you an invoice. Really important to understand. If you go in and you ask a designer, say, oh, make this for me, and you didn't have a really good explanation of what you want, and you say, well, I need it to do this. They charge you. They charge by the hour. If you go in the door and you're saying, well, I need it to work like this rather than the way you did it, again, they may not have understood you, but they're not going to eat that cost. It's going to go to you. So that money that you saved on the video is really important. Besides the fact that you shouldn't have even done a video yet, but it's amazing how many people jump the gun. They'll spend weeks working on a business plan. You don't have a business yet, right? They will use a registered patent attorney who charges $600 an hour instead of $200 an hour. Don't do that, all right? But because the money's in the bank right now, they think, oh, I've got this money. You always need to assume that that money is going to come in really handy in 6 months. And that's one of the reasons a lot of inventors call me when they get down the road and they go, I filed the patent, I've got really sexy prototypes, and I cannot do a first run because I spent way too much money on these early stages. Always assume that money's going to come in handy later. I tell people, it's like, don't take shortcuts on intellectual property. Using a registered patent attorney who charges $200 an hour instead of $600 an hour is smart money management, right? You don't do it yourself. You don't fill in a template. You don't have, your son's best friend in law school do it who hasn't graduated yet. No, no, no. We have to be smart. Use a registered patent attorney who's charging on the lower end of that pendulum swing rather than the higher end. In this case, spending more is not better. It's just more. And that's one of the things that we really look at is spending more in this instance, just more as opposed to better. So don't join the circus, join Archimedes Offspring. AOS is going to help you manage the trip, manage the system, manage the money. We want to make sure that you are successful. So being able to go through and have a little bit of peace of mind and have your family not think you're crazy is really important. My name is Rita Crompton, and I will talk to you tomorrow.